Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we're here with episodes 19 and 20 of My Little Pony Make Your Mark. So this rounds out this chapter. We're gonna get more episodes, I believe, in December, and after that, we don't know at the moment. There's some people trying to claim that like it's over after this or whatnot, but there's not actually really much of any evidence of that at the moment. We just know that there's not going to be any more in like next year at the moment, and hell, that could even change for all we know. But we're gonna see where this goes and close this out for now. This chapter has brought in like a lot of stuff about Misty, just finding her father, learning more about herself and everything, and that's pretty much all this season's been about. Some little hints at the dragon stuff, but nothing else at the moment. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this ends, and then to see where it goes with the next drop. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited, definitely interested. Let us get this going and see what we have in store for this set of episodes. And in the afterthoughts, I will reveal what is replacing this. I'll talk about the entire replacement situation with this. So yeah. Either way, let's get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode, or episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, the biggest takeaway from this comes at the end. The map shows our ponies, after Sparky kind of activates it, where the Dragonlands are. And now they're going to be able to go there and warn them about Opaline. However, Opaline has recently found a way into Equestria. She, well, not recently, just now, but she finds out that because of the friendship tree or whatever it's called, activating recently, she is able to teleport to the matching one in Maritime Bay, which is why all the pumpkins were disappearing before. They were going to Opaline's castle, because that's where her tree is. So she ends up going to Maritime Bay, and no one realizes she's actually a bad pony or anything. They think it's just a costume and all. The only pony that actually is affected by anything is Posey. And we don't see the, fallout from that yet. We haven't seen, Posey, try to approach the main six or anything. So I'm hoping that happens next time, because Posey's cutie mark was stolen. Opaline completely stole her cutie mark. I don't know where that's going to go at this point. Because I believe the one in December, the chapter we get in December, is supposed to be called Secrets of Starlight. And Starlight did do that in her debut in Season 5 of Friendship is Magic. She was stealing cutie marks. So is it going to be based around that? Or is there going to be something else with that? And we don't even technically know if it's actually talking about Starlight Glimmer. But, that's kind of the big theory right now. Where is this going to lead? Because now we got the Dragonlands being brought in. Opaline is obviously wanting to go there. And all. It's just there's just so much that still has to be wrapped up. So the entire idea that, the entire idea that this is going to be over after this next chapter is honestly kind of bullshit. Because I think the next chapter is supposed to be, really short. Only a few episodes. Um, and it's practically impossible for all of this to be wrapped up by then. I just think there's probably just not going to be any next year. There's probably just going to be a break. They're going to take a break from it. This is probably basically the equivalent of wrapping up the season. They're wrapping up the season's worth of work for this time. They're going to focus next year on Tell Your Tale, and then we're going to come back to more Make Your Marker, whatever, after that. Because again, there's just no way this is going to be all wrapped up. Now, we also had the first of these two episodes, episode 19. I've been talking entirely about episode 20, Nightmare on Main Street. But we also had Maine's Melody. Honestly, the reason I wasn't talking about that much there was because it's honestly super fillery. Like, outside of the map and everything being brought in, it's like, all it really is a filler episode of Pip coming up with this new Hoofacure product that shines hooves really well, but is stinky. The entire episode, it's stinky. It becomes this like big like social media challenge. Jazz wants to tell Pip, but is scared to be honest because she's scared of how Pip will react. And at the end, it's just a message about being honest with your friends and how good it feels to do so. Yay. Like, seriously, out of all the episodes in this chapter, this is the only one that felt completely needless. Like, Cutie Blossom Bash, the first episode of this chapter, is super important to Misty's story and character. It was literally going in about how her cutie mark had come in and what it means and everything that it stands for, and Misty kind of being truly inducted into the group here. Family Trees, Parts 1 and 2, and Father of the Bridalwood, all three of those episodes, they're basically a three-parter of Misty finding out about her past, her father, and just kind of getting to connect with him, as well as, the Breezies being reintroduced into the world of MLP and the Dragonlands being set up. Those three episodes were insanely important. Nightmare on Main Street was obviously your Halloween episode, or Nightmare Nights episode, if you want to use the in-universe term. But it did have important build-up with Opaline being able to enter Equestria now, and on top of that, with the map revealing the Dragonlands and all. Yeah, the rest of it was just, kind of standard holiday special kind of stuff. But it was more important than Maine's Melodies. Maine's Melody is the only episode of this chapter that feels kind of like just a random filler. It just feels so out of place. And don't get me wrong, I love Pip. I love Main Melody. I have a Main Melody shirt. I kind of wish I had chosen to wear that today. But the episode just feels so pointless and needless for the most part. There's just nothing in it that really, feels like it fits here. I think it would have been better if Maine's Melody was the first episode of this chapter. If Main Melody started this chapter off before Cutie Blossom Bash, I think it would have worked a lot better. Have that filler at the start and then just have everything after be a lot more important. I think that would have worked better, and it really wouldn't have changed much. You could even still have the map in there. I think the only thing that might have needed to be changed is Misty's inclusion. Misty was barely in it, I think, if at all. But that's the only thing that would have needed to be changed, because obviously Misty's hair and everything was updated with Cutie Blossom Bash. But I think the only reason that they had that at the beginning is because of Misty's change, and then the next episode having the new updated opening. So that would have had to been pushed even further at that point. but again, it doesn't work there. It just doesn't work with the placement. Um, Being like kind of right in between these important episodes, or again with Nightmare on Main Street, at least an episode that has really important stuff being brought up in it and setting up for the next chapter and all. So I just feel like, yeah, it just wasn't that impressive or interesting. So overall, there wasn't really much else to talk about with it. Um, but like I said, this is setting up for next time. And again, I think the next chapter is going to be pretty short. And if that's the case, then like I said, yeah, there's no way they're finishing this off in just a few more episodes. So there's definitely going to be more. They're just probably going to take a year off, and that's fine. Believe it or not, they can do that. That's not like unreasonable. Um, and let them focus on Tell Your Tale for now. That's its own thing. Um, and I kind of need to, I feel, almost remind people of that sometimes. Tell Your Tale is not canon to Make Your Mark. It's kind of its own canon. And it's basically like things from Make Your Mark will appear in Tell Your Tale, like Misty's main change, dragons being brought in and stuff. But Tell Your Tale stuff won't affect Make Your Mark story at all. Nothing from Tell Your Tale will affect Make Your Mark. It's not canon to Make Your Mark. They're basically like parallel canons. They're their own separate canons, but they share some similarities. Like again, Misty's main change, her becoming a good guy, stuff like that. But they follow their own rules, their own storylines, their own canon like timelines and everything. So yeah, it's going to be very different. So if I even were to go into watching Tell Your Tale, that's something that would need to be taken into account. It wouldn't be the same. And that's also why Tell Your Tale can be a lot more goofy and silly and, you know, honestly not as well written as Make Your Mark, because it's more of a children's shorts series. It's not meant to be as big of a deal. Make Your Mark is the main series that is meant to be a follow-up to the movie and to G4, Friendship is Magic. The shorts are just shorts. They're just cute little shorts to entertain children. And I guess in that way they're fine for what they are, and some of them are probably very good. And some of them probably have very good songs. But there's also more than likely a lot of them that aren't. And from what I've seen, I know there's a lot of them that aren't. But yeah. So that's just the gist of how it's going to go. For now, I'm not really planning on watching Tell Your Tale. I was thinking about it in the past, but I really just don't think I really want to. But that does kind of bring up the question, okay, so we have time now. Make Your Mark returns in, again, I believe December. So what are we going to react to in this slot for the time being until we have to find a slot to open up for Make Your Mark then? What is replacing Make Your Mark for the time being in this slot? Well, this is a Connie's Choice slot. So this slot could be anything. And technically I could replace it with a donation reward or a first impressions, but I don't really have to. Like, that's completely on my choice. And there's a number of things I could bring in here. Like, there's a number of shows that I've been waiting to get to, some shows that just recently started. But I actually already had a plan for this, pretty much since right when I started this series. Well, this chapter, I should say. When I started this chapter, I had already planned out what I was going to replace it with, and so I'm going to keep to that. I'm going to keep to that because it's something that I've kind of wanted to get back to for quite a while. Um, it's something I wanted to try to check out again, give another chance to, because I feel like the time period in which I was watching it before was long ago enough to where I'm in a very different place, and just I'm more open to giving it another chance. I don't believe that I was necessarily wrong for dropping it before. I don't believe that I was like wrong for not liking it back then, because at the time that's just how I was. That's just based on what my interests were, my thoughts, and what the show gave to me. It's like it wasn't doing it for me. But I do admit I kind of dropped it for, let's be honest, one major reason over everything else. And I acknowledge that that's not always the best reason to drop something. It's like you watch a show, and yes, by the way, I know I'm hamming up how much I'm building this up. You watch a show, and this one little thing annoys you so much, while everything else is mostly serviceable, even if not like necessarily the best, but still serviceable for the most part. But that one thing is just so annoying to you at the time that it makes you drop the show just because of that. It feels like it's almost a petty reason to drop it. And I've done this multiple times. Like I did this with Owl House, remember? Because I dropped it because in Owl House they weren't revealing Camila finding out about what was going on and everything with that by episode 10. So I dropped Owl House. Luckily, it was requested for me to pick it back up as a donation reward, and the rest is history. The Owl House is one of my favorite shows of all time. But I don't think that's necessarily going to happen with this one. But I'm willing to give it another shot. And while I probably won't warm up to the one thing that I dislikes, while that's probably still going to bother me, admittedly, I'm kind of starting to reach a point where I'm thinking I can give it a shot and try to enjoy what the rest of the show has to offer without letting the one thing get to me too much. At least I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it one more chance, give it a try. But the problem is, if you guys weren't on my previous channel, you have no way of seeing my previous reactions. That's like 10 episodes of reactions that you will not be able to see. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to start the journey with me with probably an update video just going over some quick thoughts on the first 10 episodes, just some memory, some walk down memory lane to get caught up on that again. Though I think I remember the main things that were important to the story outside of like just episodic stuff. But yeah, we'll probably go through that again when we get to it. But if it's not clear for those of you who have been here from the previous channels before YouTube terminated them due to copyright bullshit, I am talking about Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. We are going to be giving it another chance. And I'm going to say right off the bat here, the thing that bothered me was Velma. I'll talk more about it in that video, but I hated Mystery Inc. Velma. And yeah, I'll talk more about it there. But I'm willing to give this show another chance. I'm willing to go through it one more time, and if I still end up not liking it, then I'll just drop it again for good this time. But I want to at least give it one more chance because it's been years and years. It's been quite a while. And honestly, I feel like it deserves at least one more go. Um, so we're gonna give it another shot, and I feel like it's a good season to do so, with it being October. Bring back, Scooby Doo of all things. That just worked out. Like, that was just coincidence. That wasn't intent. But yeah, I'm excited nonetheless to see where this goes, and hopefully, I am very much hoping that I end up enjoying it more this time. Maybe I'll warm up to Velma a lot more. Maybe I'll end up at least being able to just live with her being there. Um, and again, I'll talk more about it in the first video of that. We'll also go over like quick thoughts on the first 10 episodes. Or maybe I might even make just a separate video to go over my thoughts on the first 10 episodes. Um, but yeah, I want to give this another shot, and hopefully my opinion ends up turning around this time. Um, but I can't promise anything. We'll see. And in the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of these last two episodes of this chapter of My Little Pony Make Your Mark? Episodes 19 and 20, Main's Melody, and A Nightmare on Main Street. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.